Your life is all about odds, and statistically speaking, everything will be okay for you. Probably. You'll be another Mr. or Mrs. Average, things on an even keel all life long, like this man here. This is Kevin. There he was, an average middle-aged man with a young and growing family, pootling down the middle of the road of life, and then, totally out of the blue and against the odds, something happened that changed his destiny forever. He went from his average life to this. Pounding the ground in a massive quest, marathons, then ultramarathons, multi-day events, mile after endless mile, harsh environments of all kinds, the kind of life he'd never dreamed of, the equivalent of a lottery win for sure, but it's not what you think at all. So before you start thinking that here's a man of leisure living the life of Riley, we'd better back up a little and explain those long odds that happened to Mr. Average to turn his life upside down. Not too long ago, Kevin found himself at age 49 in a doctor's office and being told that simply he didn't have long left to live. In just a few tumultuous weeks, his future had changed, or rather, it had disappeared entirely, thanks to something that he knew nothing about. And he should have known all about it, because his odds weren't crazy at all. They were just 4 to 1, and yet nobody had told him. If you're a man watching this right now, or you're a woman and you have a man that you care about, who you love in your life, this is going to be an uncomfortable revelation, because every man's odds of encountering exactly what happened to Kevin are going to shock you to your very core, because this is no 1,000,000 to 1 occurrence. Every man's odds of being another Mr. Average like Kevin are at the very best 8 to 1. And incredibly, just a couple of simple factors could reduce those odds to as low as 1 in 2. And yet hardly anybody knows what it is. Hardly anybody's talking about it. Which is why Kevin, who was told that he might live for just another 2 years, is on a mission. He's intent on spending his remaining time on the planet trying to help bring about changes to those terribly short odds, so that other men and other men's families don't have to go through what Kevin and his family are going through right now. By doing something that no one else thought he could, he intends to draw as much attention to it as he possibly can before he dies from it. There's a huge elephant in the men's room, but before he can get us to talk about it, he needs us to know it's even there first. So what is it, this great big silent killer of men of all ages? This thing that's going to affect 1 out of every 8 of us? It's called prostate cancer. You may have heard of it, but chances are that you don't know that much about it or realise just how deadly it is. When Kevin received the news that his life would be prematurely cut very short thanks to terminal cancer, he reacted in the same understandable manner as anybody else. There were tears aplenty and lots of navel-gazing leading up to his first treatment. A treatment he was told that might slow down the advance of the disease. And then, the day after his very first chemo session, Kevin did something unusual, to say the least. He went for a run. You see, amongst all that feeling sorry for himself, Kevin had done some proper thinking too. And he decided that if he did only have those 2 years left, there was absolutely no way that he was going out with a whimper. And so came that slow and difficult jog around his local area. By week 13 of that much-feared chemo, Kevin was unbelievably lining up at the start of the Brighton Marathon.
I love you.
And he followed up that successful finish with another in the famous London Marathon just a couple of weeks later. Those unbelievably difficult chemo-laden runs had given him the momentum to believe in himself. So next, he took aim at his self-titled Everest of running, a 6-day, 150-something mile event in the Saharan desert. Something he didn't even think he would get to start, never mind finish. And now something else was growing inside Kev, something magnificent instead of malignant, a determination to make the most of it. The idea to defy the disease and compete in as many ultramarathons as he can manage. A purpose to use his position as somebody with terminal disease to raise some money and awareness for the charity that helped him through those dark early days. And the big dream to get other men to understand and talk about prostate cancer and help do his bit in trying to advance development of a better test. And even though it's far too late for Kev and other men like him, maybe even a cure some way down the line. Come along on this incredible journey as he puts one foot in front of the other, both right here in the UK and a long way from home, pushing inexorably towards that dream. One step at a time. A journey filled with highs and lows, passion and jeopardy, the exotic and domestic. Against a backdrop of other cultures and other lives, Kev is running 2 races. Now perhaps the one against his terminal condition he has to ultimately endure solo, as we all will when our time comes, but the other is where people of all ages and demographics join him to help bring that big dream closer. So join Kev in his race against terminal disease. In all our lives, the ultimate destination is already decided, but it's the journey there that makes us who we are. Experience what it's like living a shortened life to the fullest. Contemplate what those numbers in our lifespans really mean, and perhaps even consider what you might change about your own before it's too late. Join us as we make the most of it.